I'm April Frelking. It's my pleasure to bring you the best of hometown life every week. We have Health Check 360 with an all-new surgery robot, and Doc and Oakley are back with a new lab student challenge. And to get the students started, I'll send it over to Doc in the lab.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the lab challenge. And this week, our challenge is to build a pendulum. And I'll have our professor from physics from Tomah High School, Oakley Moser, introduce our two contestants.
We have Mariah Murray and Maddie Klein with us this evening, and their challenge is to build a pendulum that will get as close to 60 swings in 60 seconds as possible so that it would be able to keep time like a clock.
And they have about 20 minutes to do that. We'll turn it back over to April.
Well, thanks, Doc, and good luck to our students. Our first guest will start us with some information on the Castle Rock Children's Museum in Mauston. So please welcome to our program, Angie Cain. Angie, great to have you.
Nice. Thank you so much, April. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so Children's Museum, Castle Rock. Tell us, what's the inspiration and what's happening with it?
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, we were on a field trip. My daughter was graduating 8th grade, and we lived in Madison at the time, so we took a trip down to Milwaukee, and we visited an incredible place that wasn't exactly a children's museum, but was very much on the line of a museum. And we ended up leaving that place thinking, wow, how much fun is this? It was one of those days where I thought, you know, if I'm ever in a position to do something like this, I'd really like to see it happen. So it's been on my heart and on my mind for about, you know, a decade. Yeah.
So how has it started? Maybe what part of the project are you in?
So,
the initial phase, building, where are things at?
Great
Angie?
question. So about a month ago, I thought, you know, I'm going to take my idea to some friends and see what they think. And they loved it. But we wanted to make sure that the community was ready, so we initiated a survey to 1,000 people in the greater Mauston area. And within a week, we got 1,000 responses. 972 people thought the idea of the museum was fantastic. And so we decided at that point that we would go the step further and actually become a business. So we got our articles of incorporation done, we've got our EIN done, created a website, and we're 1 month into the process of becoming a nonprofit and moving forward with the museum.
Now, I did see that survey online. It was on a Facebook something, and I filled it out. I thought, wow, what an exciting idea.
Thank you.
So when I heard you would be on today, I was excited to talk with you. So where are you at now then? You've got that part done, and you get some fundraisings coming up possibly?
Yeah, well, you know, this is a really big endeavor, and it's something that we're really going to need the communities to support us with. So we're taking the first step and starting a hail and bail, which is kind of on the line of jail and bail. You know, it takes some really super duper heroes to get a big project like this done, and you know, superheroes need sidekicks. So we're going to ask the community to come along, be our sidekick, get involved with our fundraiser, help us to raise money to bring this museum together. It's going to have a lot of really fantastic things, but we're going to need you guys to help.
And how would someone start? Have you kicked off the fundraiser yet? Or what's some of the details?
Yeah, the fundraiser will be on May 16th. If you want to go on site to our website at castlerockchildrensmuseum.org or on Facebook, you can find out all the information. We'll give you lots of information about who we are and what we're doing, and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, have you picked out a location, Angie, for
our
the
location
museum?
is not quite there yet.
Okay.
Really going to depend on how successful we are with fundraising. We have a couple of really fantastic buildings in mind right inside of Mauston, but like I said, it's going to depend on how successful we are in gaining community support and funds.
When I remember when I filled the survey out, there were some questions on what would you like to see in the Children's Museum. Did you get any themes from the survey people, like what they would like? Would you want to talk about a little bit about that?
We got a lot of really, really great ideas. We've got everything from science, technology, engineering, art, math. There's certain things that people really love. And what we're doing right now is we're holding focus groups and forums so that we can hear back from the community on what they think the best fit for us is. We're also taking advantage of listening to other museums and finding out what their expert advice is. So we've gone and visited and joined other organizations and learning out what the top-notch stuff is right now.
Mm-hmm. Are you personally, like, is there something, you told for a decade you've kind of been on your heart. What's your hope, or in 5 years, do you have like a goal like you'd like to see? Like a timeline, or is it kind of depending on fundraising, Angie?
I would love to see that we get this launched and ready to go by spring of next year.
Okay.
And I really think that we can do it. We have a fantastic board, really a bunch of great people that are coming alongside us and saying, we think it's a wonderful idea. If you want to come and volunteer out in the community and you think, you know what, I'd love to see that happen, go onto our website, visit us on Facebook, send us a message. We'd love to welcome the community to be part of this.
And I would assume, if anybody just wants to make a general donation at any time,
we would love
how would they go about doing that?
Go onto our website. Go on. There's going to be opportunities for them to send that to us. Mm-hmm. We'll get that all hooked up and ready to go by tomorrow.
Okay. And before we let you go, can you just, again, tell our viewers the website and the Facebook title so that we know, we want to make sure they're reaching out to your
If you go to castlerockchildrensmuseum.org,
okay,
or find us on Facebook at Castle Rock Children's Museum.
Great. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you so much,
It'd be
April.
great to see it come to fruition for you.
Perfect.
Next spring.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, catering for cast and crew has been provided by Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah. Great food with fun for the whole family. Health Check 360 is next. But first, we want to thank our sponsors.
Hometown Life has been brought to you by Lynx Networks, Oakdale Credit Union, Torkelson Funeral Home, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, The Little Cottage Home Decor and more, The Fun Company Game Room Store.
All right, get set for the story of my life.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Get a move on, girls. Train's waiting.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Which view would you prefer?
The one you're blocking.
It only took brains, courage, and a gun, and I had the gun.
John, if it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Hardware Hank knows you have projects, lots of important projects, from paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
At Tomah Health, we're transforming healthcare with exciting new technology for hip and knee replacements. Mako Smart Robotics helps surgeons know more and cut less. The state-of-the-art robot validates your surgical plan, and our surgeons guide the robotic arm with precision.
My name's Aaron Butler. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I love working at Tomah just because of the quality of care, the one-on-one experience that it provides.
Smart Robotics demonstrates our commitment to providing our community with outstanding healthcare. Learn more at tomahhealth.org.
Tomah Health is now offering innovative robotic technology that allows surgeons to personalize knee and hip procedures using the Mako Smart Robotics. On this edition of Health Check 360, Tomah Health Surgical Director Bridget Burbach and Surgical Coordinator Jennifer Hutson join us to share this exciting news. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Look very surgical.
Thanks.
So, a brand new robotics in the surgery department. Bridget, can you talk to us a little bit about how that works, or how?
Sure.
How is that?
So the robot, Dr. Butler actually guides the robot's arm. The robot doesn't do it all itself. It's guided by him. So he maps out the joint and the replacement that he needs to do, and it guides him to make a very precise cut down to millimeters. So that then provides for the patient a much firmer fit of the joint prosthetics, so that the hope is that it lasts longer and things of that nature. And then it also provides the opportunity for him not to cut through so much soft tissue around the joint, so then it decreases the pain that the patients feel after the joint replacement. There's not as much muscle that's cut through, and other ligaments and tendons and things like that. So it has really...
Sounds very accurate.
Yes, it is. It's very precise, very much so.
Yeah, you said that.
Yep. So it's really a neat thing that we're doing now for the patients we can take care of. So.
And now, how, maybe Jennifer, I could ask you this: how have you been doing surgeries? How they've been going, or what's kind of the response you're getting from patients?
We have been able to do both total hip and total knees with the new robot. Cases have been going very well. They keep getting added onto our schedule, which is a good thing. So we will see more and more as we move forward here. The outcomes are still yet to we haven't really done enough to really see what the outcomes are, but patients have been doing very well after surgery. They've been going home most of the time same day. So they leave that same day they have surgery, which is excellent for them. And recovery has been going well.
When did the surgery start with the robotics, with Smart? Am I saying that right? Smart, Mako Smart Robotics?
Yep. It was 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so this is really
4 weeks now.
Really a fairly new procedure.
Yep.
And how is the staff, however your staff in the surgical unit or whoever's involved with these type of surgeries,
they were very excited.
The response to this.
They were very excited to bring it on board and learn about it. And we have a couple of staff members, because there was so much to learn, that really kind of took the lead and more or less piloted the training. And then now that we've been in operation for a few weeks with it, we're starting to train more staff with it and everything else. So it's going very, very well.
Kind of probably a new exciting procedure or way to serve the patient and their needs. Now, can anybody, do you have to be like a current patient or someone that's interested in hearing about this, or like, wow, I know I have a knee surgery coming up, or I'm putting off a hip replacement, and how would they?
That's a determination through examination from Dr. Butler. So, he's the one that would determine if they're a candidate or not, and things of that nature. So.
And how can they reach out to Tomah Health to find out any more information on the procedure or being like a potential patient?
They can just go to our website at tomahhealth.org. And there's more information in regard to the robot on our website, or they can contact Dr. Butler over at Gunderson Tomah Clinic. So.
And any thoughts from either one of you about the smart? I want to say it, the smart robotics.
Go ahead.
It's very exciting. It's that we can offer this quality of care to our patients. It's a really innovative machine, and it's something that not a lot of places around here offer for patients. So it's something that we're very excited about and keep moving forward with it.
Great. When you talked about maybe that there's less pain, I would think that would be anybody's dream come true. Less pain in a surgery, and that your recovery in any surgery is always takes time. So it'll be exciting to hear how things work out with that. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tomah Health. Well, the Lab Student Challenge is up next. Stay with us.
At Tomah Health, we're transforming healthcare with exciting new technology for hip and knee replacements. Mako Smart Robotics helps surgeons know more and cut less. The state-of-the-art robot validates your surgical plan, and our surgeons guide the robotic arm with precision.
My name's Aaron Butler. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I love working at Tomah just because of the quality of care, the one-on-one experience that it provides.
Smart Robotics demonstrates our commitment to providing our community with outstanding healthcare. Learn more at tomahhealth.org.
What's the more in the Little Cottage home decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the Little Cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage home decor and more, New Lisbon.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner? Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza. Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzone's in Tomah.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Half the people in the world are women. Why does it have to be you that stirs me?
If it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
I think you're hiding something from me.
I'm at my wit's end.
I passed there an hour ago.
I got that big jacket.
That ain't as tough as a day.
That is a flamingo.
I'm sure modern civilized methods of homicide are much more efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Daddy! Oh, Daddy!
Yeah. Well, we have an exciting challenge here today. Maddie and Mariah, they were to come up with a pendulum that would have a period of 1 second. Now, period means the time over and the time back. And so they had to adjust the length of the pendulum to get a period of 1 second. Are we ready to do some testing here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'll run the clock.
All right.
And we'll do Maddie's first.
Okay.
And so we'll have you and Maddie can count the swings as
We'll
we
count
go.
it out loud. 60 seconds and go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46,
3,
47, 48,
60 seconds.
48 and a half. I counted 48 and a half. Is that what you counted, Maddie?
Circa in the limited trials I had.
48 and a half.
So it was consistent at least.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes.
48
We'll come
and a
back
half.
to yours in a second. We're going to test
Mariah,
Mariah's next.
You think you can beat that?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54,
3,
55,
2,
56,
1,
57.
1 minute.
57. That is
very
good.
close.
That is excellent. You were, well, that's like 98% accurate, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yes, yes. So 57 here and 40...
8-ish.
48-ish there. That's
All
pretty
right.
good.
So let's talk a little bit about what you were trying as you went through it. So Maddie, walk us through what you experimented with as you were going about this.
So initially I had known that I would have to have 2 parallel suspensions for the bobbin of the, or whatever this is.
The weight.
The bob, yeah, the bob. Mm-hmm.
The pendulum. But initially I didn't do that, hence my failed string. So I had tied this onto here, and I sort of experimented with the lengths I could use for the string, but then I realized my main fault was that I was removing it from equilibrium too far, and it was resulting in it having too many periods within the 60 seconds given. So I tried shorter distances each time.
And that's a smart idea, because in any pendulum, if you pull it back too far, it's not a true pendulum, because when you pull it back too far, it has potential energy converted to kinetic energy, and if you look at grandfather clocks, the pendulum swings just very little to make a true pendulum. How about Mariah over here?
I also start with just the 1 string, and then with a little bit of help, I decided to do the 2 string. Well, it's just 1 string that's looped through it, but then I experimented with the length of it, and I kept having to shorten it, but I just kept it at the same length that I pulled back on it, so that that part was staying consistent, and then I just kept testing different distances.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
Both of you tried initially the 1 string and then went away from it, but what was the main problem that you saw when you just used the 1 vertical string?
It wasn't staying in a straight line as it was swinging, and it started to go diagonal.
Is that what you saw too?
Yeah, it was sort of forming those ellipses.
Yeah, it starts to swing almost more with the bar above it. Like it goes in line sideways instead of the way you want it back and forth. And so the 2 anchor points, don't let it do that, of course, because it can't get out of line then, and it has to stay in that straight back and forth path, so that makes things a little easier.
Yeah, now in any pendulum, T, the period, that's the time to go over and back, is equal to 2 pi times the square root of L over G. So you can see from the formula that the period depends only on the length. It doesn't depend on how heavy the bob is or the weight, and it doesn't depend upon how far you pull it back, only on the length. And historically, Galileo is said to be sitting in church, and there was a high wind, so the chandelier was moving back and forth a little bit, and he timed that pendulum, the idea that it doesn't make any difference how far you pull it back, by using his pulse as a timer. And so he did a lot of work with the pendulum.
Yeah, pendulums, of course, are used a lot of times in clocks. If we had a true grandfather clock, their period is a little different than the one you were making, because you were trying to make it go over and back in 1 second. Whereas a grandfather clock goes over in 1 second and back in the next, which means it actually has a period of 2 seconds. And so their pendulums end up being much longer than what you had made. But smaller clocks with pendulums that hang on the wall will have one that's more or closer to this length. And Larry, I think you had said earlier too, you calculated it out. What would the length be for exactly the 1 second period?
9.77 inches would be precisely the length that you would need. And that comes from that formula.
How close did we get? Should we check?
Yeah.
How close we managed to get with that?
Measure the length of yours. Strapping down. And that's about 11 inches. Now that, of course, is from the center of mass, which would be about in the middle of that to up there.
And Maddie's was about 14.
14 inches, yes. And of course, the longer the pendulum, the longer it's going to take to go back and forth. So you're going to have a shorter time there than you really need there. Well, excellent job there.
What did you think was the most challenging part of doing this? What was the toughest for you?
I suppose figuring out that length was the main factor in it.
I would say finding a length to start with, because I didn't want to start with a string that was too short, because then I couldn't shorten it any further from that. So I guess finding a starting point for it.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not unusual. Like you were playing initially with how far you were pulling it back, and to some degree it might affect it a little bit because, as Larry said, if you pull it back too far, it does change how it swings. But overall, that doesn't. If you keep it in the smaller swing, it doesn't really make any difference how far it starts back. But we also were commenting that you were adjusting this to get your length changed, which changes your vertical height without having to retie everything just by little amounts. So we thought that was very interesting.
That would be like fine tuning, because moving it back and forth isn't going to change the length a whole lot. Very little. But for fine tuning, that's a great idea there. Well, these young ladies are both seniors, and so we have time. Let's talk about your post-high school plans.
Wow. We are graduating this year. I'll be going to Cornell University in New York next fall. To study biology for pre-med.
Awesome. That's great.
Awesome,
the Finger Lakes area of New York.
And I'll be going to UW-Platteville to major in criminal justice in the fall.
Very good. And things are going well at high school?
Swimmingly.
Great.
We didn't quite get to pendulums in physics yet. So, they're forgiven for not knowing the exact amount. But,
and you could, if you knew the formula, you could calculate the length. With a calculator would help, and just put down 1 second there, and then 2 and pi, of course, that's 2 times 3.14, and that's a constant. And then length is what you would come up with, is there?
Now, interestingly, we said it only depends on length, but of course gravity does matter. So if you took your pendulum, somewhere else, like to the moon, where it's a different gravitational constant, it would not run the same there as it does here. So it does depend on length, and of course we do them all on Earth, so then that's all we say is it depends on the length. But it does depend on the strength of the gravitational pull on it, too.
So it would have a different period, say, on the top of a mountain than it would in the valley.
Just
very slightly, but enough to measure. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
For your lab today.
You
know what I was thinking too? This may sound, it's not as scientific, but don't you hold a pendulum over your hand to ask yes or no questions? Have you ever seen that? Maybe that's more of a not as scientific, or where someone's stomach if they're pregnant, if it's a boy. No, okay.
That's voodoo.
No science there. Well, Well, thanks. Good luck, ladies, on your future. That's great to hear where you're going off to college. So good luck with everything. Well, that's our show for this week. We want to thank you for watching Hometown Life, where we're connecting you to the community.